show. I don't want to come back on the air. I'm eating.
All right.
I'm eating this amazing breakfast from Chef Richard Florczak. He is the private chef to the stars.com. You can go there and find out more about him. I feel like
he brought us food.
I mean, like, what would you do if we were to hire you to be our private chef?
I'd accept.
I
I can tell already you guys are easy.
Oh, we are. Tell us what you made for us this morning.
Easy.
I'm very easy. I'm very easy. I also love all food.
That's a good thing to hear from a private chef, because whenever I would interview for a job, I would always hear the same thing. Oh, we're easy. We eat everything, until the first day on the job you find out that they're vegetarian, vegan, and everything else.
God.
Yeah, no, that's royal red shrimp and cilantro omelet, roasted potatoes with peppers, onions, and chorizo, and I call them my NBA famous pancakes.
These are good. So you made these for the Knicks?
I made them. I worked for Tyson Chandler. He was the center for the Dallas Mavericks and the New York Knicks for quite some time, and I would work for him in the off season. And
where was this?
This was in L.A.
Oh my God!
His home base was in L.A. and ironically, right just a few exits down from where we lived. And he was the only client I ever had where my job was to keep weight on him.
Oh.
That was fun.
Wouldn't that be great, Nick? I'd love to have that problem.
I'm eating.
So he had to eat 7,000 calories a day?
7,000 calories. I used to make Butterfinger milkshakes and keep them in the fridge for him.
Oh, my God.
Did that hit the 7,000 right there?
That was about halfway. Yeah.
And so when you are being interviewed for such positions, and you've worked for Mel Gibson, Tom Cruise, who else?
I used to work a bit for Leonardo DiCaprio, for John Taylor from Duran Duran.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's an interesting story about that.
He's a great bass player, by the way.
So I've heard. But funny thing about it, I was working for Mel Gibson at the time, but I didn't have to be at Mel's house till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I used to pick up these jobs in the morning where I would be what they call a personal chef, which is different than a private chef. But I was able to do that in the morning, get to somebody's house, cook food for them, leave it in the fridge, and go. Well, I was hired to do it for this woman who was the founder of Juicy Couture, the clothing line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So I'd get there, and I'd be prepping this food, and she would leave for work, and this British guy would kind of hang around. So one time I'm just trying to, make conversation, and I said, so Johnny, actually, I called him. I said, Johnny, what is your occupation? And he says, well, I founded the group Duran Duran. And just so you know, I didn't listen to them at that time. I was still caught up in the 60s music and stuff, so it didn't mean anything to me. So I get home, and I start to tell my wife. Now, my wife had, at that point, she'd been invited to Mel Gibson's house for dinner. I mean, it was so casual, right?
Really?
His wife would say,
is he cool?
Who? Mel?
Mel Gibson.
The best boss I ever had. Best boss, and we're still friends. And
Love to hear that. Love to hear that.
Yeah, no, a great guy. But anyway, his wife would say, is your wife in town, or is she traveling? No, she's in town. Well, have her come over for dinner tonight. Right? So I put food out on the table, and just happened to be my wife was a guest there, real casual and stuff. And I would go in, and I'd hear the two of them, Mel and my wife Heidi, talking.
What are they talking about?
I don't even know. I would think to myself, boy, she's pretty casual about this. But get this. I get home that day from Juicy Couture's house, and I said, hey, I just found out that her husband is John Taylor from Duran Duran. She went berserk. Wow. I thought I was going to have to get the defibrillator paddles out for her. She was screaming, John Duran, my favorite group. I'm like, you were at Mel Gibson's last week, So, but nice people. Very, very nice people.
That's funny, and I don't want to take up any of your time, but I will tell you this. There's an interesting little side note to that. Juicy Couture, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And John Taylor, he designed a guitar. He was endorsing PV guitars for a while. He designed a guitar and a bass with Juicy's name on it, and there's some of the rarest guitars you can find.
No kidding.
Yeah,
wow.
every once in a while they come up for auction, and they're hard to get because of her name and his name. They've made them just through the roof.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
wow, that's cool.
So let me ask you this question. What is the difference between a personal chef and a private chef?
A personal chef is a chef that works that's somewhat temporarily. They may work steadily for a client, but they'll drop food off, or they'll go to the person's house and they'll cook a little bit and leave it, and then come back, three days later, and they may have 3 or 4 clients. A private chef, you work exclusively for that person.
So are you making it all in real time for Mel Gibson? I mean, is he home?
Oh yeah.
How does that? So you're in their kitchen. How do you get in? Like, how do you?
It's just
password.
No, yeah. I think there is a whole staff that works probably at his house, right?
His was pretty laid back, but no, I mean, you go through the old, background check and that kind of thing. Plus, I had come from Tom Cruise. I was 2 years with Tom Cruise, and I was able to use the people that worked at Tom Cruise's as a reference.
Okay.
So,
but now Tom Cruise, he has a lot of hang-ups about a lot of things. He just strikes me as that way. I'm not asking you if he does, but I'm saying he probably is super healthy.
I have never seen anybody in that condition in my life. He works out like an Olympic athlete every day.
Wow.
I mean, constantly. He's constantly doing it. And I was just always so, I admired that.
He looks like he does.
Yeah.
So he's like the fountain of youth, So what does someone like that eat?
Healthy stuff. What we all kind of know is healthy, low fat, low sugars, real clean eating, a lot of grilled things, fish, steamed vegetables, that kind of thing. He sticks to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move over to the Baby Love event.
Sure.
So we meet you over in DC.
Yeah, that was cool.
You were following and you met Russell Fry.
Right.
You decided to support him.
Yes.
And you moved to Murrells Inlet about a year or so ago with your wife, and you get invited to the inauguration. You come, and so I get to meet you and all that, and you're actually a listener of the show.
I've been since day one, since I got here.
So crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So cool. I know.
I always apologize. I'm sorry.
It's so amazing. So we get to talking. I throw you on the show with us at the DC hotel, and you want to be part of our Baby Love event. So tell us, we're going to be auctioning off an item from you. What is it exactly going to be?
Well, personally, I've moved away from the private chef world, kind of done with that. And I've really gotten interested in doing classes. I do cooking workshops, demonstrations, or just tastings. I'll be doing that at a place in Pawleys Island called Incredible Edibles starting January 28th, I think it is.
It's coming up.
Yeah. So I thought, I really enjoy doing that. I did that across the country when my book had come out, The Private Chef. And I just really enjoy that, So I thought, what?
What is it that you like about it? Because it's a lot more interacting with
but I keep
like a group of people.
Yeah, but I keep it intimate. It's a max of 6, maybe 8 people.
All right.
I like to do some of the dishes that helped me get to where I am.
Okay.
But I always keep it simple. I am not interested in involved dishes that take a whole day, and that's what most people that cook at home are interested in.
Yes, absolutely.
Before my book came out, I used to say, when you're a restaurant chef, people go there to cook people go there to eat what you cook.
Right.
When you're a private chef, you cook what the people want. And
right.
you're
true.
As a private chef, you're closer to the home cook, which is very ironic when you think about it, that predominantly cookbooks are written by restaurant chefs, but the people who buy them cook at home. They're two completely different worlds. So the bottom line is I do what the home cook does, except I get paid for it.
Gotcha.
So I believe I have more to offer to people who cook at home than most restaurant chefs.
All right. So when you're going to do one of these classes, I mean, like how how do you go about forming the menu? I mean, is it like a 4-course meal, or
you mean for the donation or for the class
for the
itself?
class that you're going to be teaching in? What did you say, in Pawleys?
Pawleys Island.
Okay, yeah. How's it going to work?
I do whatever I want.
Okay,
which is kind of cool for the first
people
time.
sign up.
It may not go well, but I'm tired of a career. Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful, and I had a terrific career in Los Angeles, but I'm tired of following every diet trend that comes along.
It must be exhausting.
It was unbelievable. You would get a kitchen set up in a home and, be doing great for a month. And all of a sudden, the lady of the house read an article in some magazine and all of a sudden you're cleaning out the cupboards and putting brown rice in, And I have seen that for decades.
Wow.
And it's cyclical. It comes around, and it would get to the point at the end of my career. I always say that the now I'm going to forget the name of it. The one that bothers the stomach.
Gluten-free?
Gluten-free diet was my swan song diet. When that came along, I said, I'm done.
Really?
Because it's going to come and it's going to go. And
but it's so revolutionary if it comes to your cupboard.
Right.
Takes out 90% of your cupboard. There's so much gluten in everything. Sauces and all that. People don't realize.
And you'll see it slowly. Mark my words. You'll see it slowly
go
away.
out.
I mean, think about the low-fat craze when everybody had low-fat.
So unhealthy for you, the low-fat craze.
Yeah. So
what do you think? Who's your favorite chef to learn from? I'm gonna think of a name because I think there might be someone that that really you identify with.
You probably won't know who he is.
Oh, then I won't.
And he's gone now.
Oh.
And of course, I'm going to forget his name too. Michel Richard. He was a French chef in Los Angeles, and I remember I had just started getting into the culinary world, and I kept thinking to myself, I didn't have enough experience to sort of critique chefs. What I wanted to say was, the plate would be put in front of me and they'd lift the lid and I'd go, the portions are so small. It's like I'm finished and I don't even remember this, It's like
that would be me. That's it.
And I'd be like, I'm new to this game and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. And then I go to this restaurant called Citrus this one time, and it's owned by Michel Richard. And I ordered the first course, and it came, and it was a crab terrine. And the way, it would take me a half hour to explain everything, but the way it was positioned on the plate, it wasn't pompous. You didn't want to scream, "Hey, we know you're back there, chef." It was just perfect.
Wow.
And I knew at that moment, this is the direction I want to go.
Did you get to meet him?
No, I never got to meet him. We had a
wow.
couple restaurants that I used to frequent, but no, I never.
Do you like cooking with good, wholesome ingredients, like traditional style, or do you ever try and go with the trend? Are you using real butter and real olive oil and all of these things?
I am when I cook for myself, and I will be when I'm doing these demonstrations. Okay. But when you're hired, you do what they want.
Right, exactly.
I've had young restaurant chefs come up to me and say, "Hey, we really want to get into this world," or I really want to get into this world. And I would say, "Could you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every night for a week?" And they'd say, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "What if your boss asked you for that?"
Yeah.
If you don't have that kind of character, that kind of personality that is willing to do what people ask you to do, that is not the place for you.
So check your ego at the door.
I took the words right out of my mouth. I swear to God, I was just going to say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. No, absolutely. That if you've got any kind of ego, forget about it.
Can I ask a question? When
Please.
did you determine, wow, I'm good at this?
I still don't know if I'm good at this.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. Okay. Every time I do something, every single time. When I worked for Mel Gibson, right, 13 years with Mel Gibson, right, just imagine, do the math, how many dinners that is. Every single night they thanked me. Every single night. If one night they didn't thank me, I'm driving home going, I'm fired. It was horrible. It was horrible. People are just going to find me out. They're going to recognize.
He hated the peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, right. I didn't cut the crust off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good news, Nikki.
Yeah, we have a little extra time with you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the privatecheftothestars.com is your website. You can learn more about those classes happening with Chef Richard Florczak. But what is the auction item that we're going to be auctioning off with you? Mm-hmm. We're auctioning you off, actually, at the Baby Love event.
This is going to be great. What it is it's for 6 people, a private cooking, either demonstration, tasting, or workshop. You could be as involved in it as you want to be.
Okay.
Or you could just sit back, get hammered, and watch me cook. Yeah.
I'm in!
Do you cook and serve?
Usually it's done at a center island, so it's like a little class, and it's real interactive, and it's just casual, you know.
Do you have any requirements for the kitchen?
No.
I mean, what if people have electric coil
I've cooked
stoves?
in the little galley of a private jet.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So, yeah.
You can cook anywhere.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so
I want to do this. This sounds really like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What, cook on a private jet?
No.
Well,
yeah, that's
no,
you.
but go to this class. Can I afford this?
Yeah, we'll make it work.
All right.
We want to take the class. So, okay, back to this. So it's 6 people at a location that they want.
Correct.
And you're going to supply all the food.
All the food.
However, whatever the structure is, you guys will talk it through. And they just show up and
I do the rest. Yeah.
You do the rest.
Yeah, and we can customize it. You know,
Okay.
if somebody bids for this and wins it, then I'll be able to communicate with them as to what day, what evening, whatever, and we can talk about it.
And it comes with an autographed book.
Yeah, each guest will get an or a couple will get an autographed book of the private chef.
Okay, and really, I mean, this is worth how much?
About $1,000.
About $1,000.
Yeah.
So, what are we going to start the bidding at, Nick? If the prize is worth $1,000, did you come up with a bidding start?
I think it should be $500. You start there.
Start at 500.
You start it, yeah.
It's all going to the Baby Love event, so
unless you start it right at 1,000. Say this is worth 1,000. We're not going any cheaper. Boom,
no, we can't start it at 1,000.
Well, your goal is to try to hit what it's worth. So I'd say 500, and hopefully you get 8, 9. Hopefully.
What do you think?
Oh, that's your call. I mean, you're asking the guy who just.
Well, I mean, it includes all the food for 6 people. It's going to be amazing.
Remember, it's a tasting style, so it's not like a full dinner.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What did you say? 300? I think that's.
I said 300 originally. Nick thinks 5.
I'm willing to do it no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're donating it, so
no problem.
But it's amazing. Okay, so now tell us, how do we find out about the things that these classes that you're going to be doing? Is it like you go to one, or is it different every week, or do you?
What I hope to do is, the first one is January 28th it's at Incredible Edibles. It's a bakery in Pawleys Island, 11326 Ocean Highway. And I'm doing one, and I'm hoping that'll snowball into more, and hoping to get where I'll do 3 a week. I'll do the same dishes so that we can get enough people to see all of them, and then change weekly or by week.
So how do people sign up for that?
Just go to theprivatecheftothestars.com, and it'll happen there.
And you can just sign up for there?
Yeah, you can sign up for it.
Okay.
Yep.
And how much does it cost?
It's $125 per person, but that includes all of the food and a personally signed cookbook.
All right. Sounds good. If you want to find out more information about that, theprivatecheftothestars.com. And Chef Richard Florczak will also be at our Baby Love event. Are you bringing Heidi? Is Heidi?
Absolutely.
All right,
I can't wait for that.
I think this thing's going to go fast. We got somebody on here that already says, I'm bidding $975 now.
Oh, my gosh.
Now.
All right. Well, they better show up at the Baby Love event, because that's when.
Putting them on the list.
And they have to bring a check, because we need a check to Coastline Women's Center. But thank you. That's awesome. Look at that.
Now I'm getting nervous.
Don't get nervous. You're amazing. And you seem like a hell of a guy, Tim. I love it.
Stop by here each day for you to tell me that?
Yes. Just bring food. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
It's the only reason why I show up, because he tells me I'm amazing every single day.
Well, you are. No, you are.
No, that's not true. Look at his face. the last thing that's true. Well, thank you, Chef Richard Florczak. Go to theprivatecheftothestars.com to learn more. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back,